Was Young Miami just another name in Diddy's long list of companions? Or was she much more involved in the chaos than anyone realized? Lately, fans have been putting the pieces together, and what's emerging is a picture that's far more complicated and disturbing than most expected. From whispered party secrets to explosive legal allegations, it seems the truth might have been hiding in plain sight this whole time. For years, rumors swirled about Diddy's wild private parties, what some have now labeled as freak-offs. These weren't just industry after-parties. They were reportedly full-blown, anything-goes affairs with drugs, power games, and blurred lines. Young Miami's name wasn't always front and center in those stories, but now it's showing up in places no celebrity wants to be. Especially after her now infamous confession that she enjoyed golden showers, something that seemed like a joke at the time, has taken on a much darker tone in the wake of Diddy's arrest and the lawsuits piling up. One case in particular, filed by a woman known only as Jane Doe, has rattled the internet. In her lawsuit, she described being invited to Diddy's home, where she was allegedly drugged without her knowledge and later woke up bruised and disoriented. What happened that night remains unclear, but what followed was even more chilling. After learning she was pregnant, Jane claimed that someone close to Diddy began calling her non-stop, urging her to terminate the pregnancy. That someone, she says, was none other than Young Miami. The lawsuit paints a picture of emotional distress, intense pressure, and ultimately, a miscarriage. While no court has found Miami guilty of anything, just being named in this kind of lawsuit has left fans with a lot of questions. What makes the whole situation messier is the way Miami herself has handled it in public. At first, she didn't shy away from the golden shower talk. In fact, she laughed about it, joked about it with Saucy Santana during an Instagram Live, and even referenced it while promoting her card game. She seemed confident, unbothered, and very much in control of the narrative. But once Diddy's legal issues exploded, everything changed. Suddenly, Miami was walking it all back. She tweeted that it was just marketing, that it never actually happened, and that the internet had taken things out of context. But screenshots don't lie, and neither do video clips. The timelines just don't match up. Fans have receipts from well before her card game ever launched, so why deny something that was already public? Around the same time, a blind item surfaced, calling out a certain golden shower-loving ex who was allegedly trying to rewrite history. It didn't name names, but fans connected the dots fast. The post hinted that there were audio and video clips involving her that hadn't even been released yet. If that's true, then the story is far from over, especially since people are now re-watching old interviews and noticing just how frequently Miami brought up those intimate preferences. Without shame, and certainly not as a joke. But what really shook fans wasn't what she said, it was what she might be hiding. There's a resurfaced photo from 2023 where Miami has a visible injury on her forehead. At the time, not much was made of it. She brushed it off, kept moving. But in light of recent allegations involving Diddy's physical abuse toward his former partner Cassie, some believe that injury wasn't an accident. Word on the street is that things got out of hand at one of Diddy's parties, and Miami might have been hurt. Badly enough that Diddy supposedly hired a private nurse to treat her in secret. There's no hard proof, but if true, it would mirror claims Cassie made in her lawsuit, that Diddy used his money and power to keep women quiet and bruises hidden. Cassie's testimony has already shocked the courtroom. She recounted being forced into degrading acts, sometimes while under the influence, sometimes when she was on her period. She said she never wanted to be urinated on and never gave permission. She described feeling ashamed, humiliated, and voiceless. But then, in a strange twist, one of the male escorts allegedly involved claimed that Cassie had actually requested those acts. According to him, she asked him to urinate on her, and Diddy instructed him on how to do it. The contradiction left people confused. But if Diddy really did control Cassie as completely as she claims, was she ever truly consenting? Or was she just doing what she thought she had to do to survive in his world? That kind of manipulation, if true, wouldn't have stopped with just one person. In fact, Cassie said Diddy often forced her to recruit other women for his parties, using sketchy platforms like Craigslist and Backpage. That's not just a red flag, that's a whole alarm system. And yet, in the middle of all this, Miami's name keeps coming up, especially in stories from other women like Gina. Gina, another alleged romantic partner of Diddy, found herself in a heated public exchange with Miami. In one now-deleted post, Miami cruelly mocked Gina for not having a baby, and even suggested that if she wanted to be degraded, she could have had that opportunity. "If I wanted you to drink my pee," she said, "Diddy would have had you on your knees." Whether she meant it literally or figuratively, the message was clear. Miami believed she held more power in Diddy's world. But that power may have come at a cost. Once Diddy's legal troubles erupted, Miami shifted her tone dramatically. Gone were the jokes, the live streams, the card game shoutouts. Instead, she started distancing herself, claiming she was never involved in the most controversial acts. She even told fans that she'd made it all up to get attention, but fans aren't buying it. Her earlier words are still floating around, and they don't line up with her new story. It's not just embarrassing, it looks calculated. To make matters worse, that same blind item claimed there are recordings of Miami participating in those parties. If any of that surfaces, it could permanently damage her image. Right now, she's not being charged. She's not even an official part of the lawsuits. But her name keeps slipping in through witness statements, through gossip, and through her own past behavior. And in this kind of case, silence isn't always protection. So now, fans are wondering, how deep was she really in it? Was she another victim, manipulated and used behind the scenes? Or was she a willing participant who now regrets being so open about it? There's no clear answer yet. But one thing is obvious, she can't keep playing both sides. The deeper the trial goes, the more her name comes up, and the harder it becomes to believe that she was just an innocent bystander. Some people say she's getting dragged unfairly. Others believe she's hiding more than anyone realizes. Either way, the spotlight is now on her, and it's not moving anytime soon. Whether she likes it or not, she's part of a story that's no longer just about rumors and feuds. It's about accountability, trauma, and what really happened behind the locked doors of Diddy's empire. And if any of the rumored footage ever leaks, the truth might hit harder than anyone's ready for.